Today I'm going to talk you through some of the most controversial transfers of all time, so be prepared for tales of betrayal, spite, legal disputes, kidnapping, manslaughter charges and pigs' heads in our latest top 5 countdown. Number 5 is Boca Juniors star Carlos Tevez, who's responsible for not one, but 2 of the most controversial Premier League transfers. The Argentinian arrived at West Ham along with Javier Mascherano in August 2006, but it later turned out they were owned by a third party, which was a breach of Premier League rules. On the final day of the 06-07 season, Carlitos scored a goal that kept the Hammers in the top flight, relegating Sheffield United at their expense. The Blades quite rightly called on the situation, and after an appeal to take West Ham's place in the top flight failed, they eventually settled for £25 million in compensation after nearly 3 years of dispute. Tevez's other controversial move, of course, came when Manchester United weren't keen to buy out his third-party rights, and they sold him to their noisy neighbours Manchester City, making the same troubling move across Manchester that Dennis Law did in the 1970s. Tevez's arrival was famously celebrated with that Welcome to Manchester billboard. It was the most controversial billboard since the one that StatGeek put up in Times Square to advertise his big digits. Number 4 is one of the greatest players of all time who made a highly contentious move over enemy lines just because he was a bit pissed off. It's Johan Cruyff, who went from Ajax to Feyenoord in 1983. After returning home from a few years playing in the US in '81, Cruyff re-signed for the Amsterdammers, a club he first joined when he was 10 years old and led to 6 league titles and 3 consecutive European Cups. The Dutch genius had another decent spell with Ajax, earning another 2 league titles, but became mightily annoyed when the club refused to offer him another contract at the age of 36, after everything he'd done for them. So out of sheer spite, he joined fierce rivals Feyenoord and won the league and cup in his single season there, all while alienating his former fan base. Put that in your 100% legal marijuana pipe and smoke it, you clog-wearing, tulip-sniffing Ajax men in suits. Only someone of Cruyff's stature could have gotten away with such a move, but clearly the resentment died down as he went on to manage Ajax a year later. Well, that happy ending calls for some celebratory music. Here's the single Cruyff released in 1969 called Oi Oi Oi, Das wat me weer een looi.
Een show en deed dat heel knap. Maar toen maakte ik sluiting en kreeg men een klap.
Number 2 in my top 25 most played behind Andy Cole's outstanding rap song. Anyway, number 3 is a deal that was as baffling as it was controversial. John Obi Mikel's move to Chelsea in 2006. A year previously, in April 2005, Man United announced they'd signed the midfielder from Norwegian side FK Lyn, and he even did some nice posing in his new shirt and admitted it was an honour to sign for his dream club. Then what happened was a bit strange. The Obi-Wan completely disappeared for 9 days, with Nigerian media sources claiming he'd been kidnapped. When he emerged, he said he'd been pressured into signing for United and he actually wanted to come to Chelsea, which is the kind of thing you might say if you went missing for 9 days. There was plenty of legal and fighting between the 2 Premier League clubs, and after complaints were made to FIFA, the Blues were finally forced to pay FK Lyn £4 million and United £12 million. It was pretty strange when Mikel went missing, but hey, that's exactly what he's been doing in the Chelsea midfield in recent seasons. Burn! Number 2 now, and it's a huge opinion splitter with ethical overtones. Striker Lee Hughes' move to Oldham Athletic in 2007. During his second spell at West Brom between 2002 and 2004, Hughes' form started to dip, but his life changed forever on an evening in November 2003 when he lost control of his Mercedes, caused the death of another road user, and fled the scene, allegedly to escape facing a breathalyzer test. Hughes was jailed for 3 years and released in August 2007, at which time he almost immediately signed a new contract with Oldham Athletic, who asked supporters not to pass moral judgment on a situation that clearly needed some moral judgment. Despite some protestation, Hughes' career continued, and he still plays today with Kidderminster Harriers, the club where he first started out. It's a similar situation to that of goalkeeper Luke McCormick, who killed 2 children while drink driving at nearly 100 miles an hour, but was still given a second chance at his club Plymouth when he was released from prison. Well, on that somber note, we reach our number 1 controversial transfer. It's an example of a player switching between 2 massive rival clubs. This has happened plenty of times in a beautiful game. For example, Sol Campbell's move to Arsenal, Ashley Cole's to Chelsea, Roberto Baggio to Juventus, and the aforementioned Johan Cruyff to Feyenoord. But no instance of crossing enemy lines has caused such a big stink as Luis Figo's highly treacherous move from Barcelona directly to Real Madrid in July 2000. The likes of Bernd Schuster and Michael Laudrup had previously transferred occurred between the two clubs, but when Barca's best player deserted Catalonia to herald the Galactico era at the Bernabeu for a world record fee of €62 million, it was seen as the ultimate betrayal. The Blaugrana's collective knickers were in such a twist that they gave him an extremely hostile welcome at the first Nou Camp Classico after his move, famously throwing a pig's head at him when he went to take a corner. Ah, to be back in the days when stadium security was lax enough for you to bring a pig's head into the stadium. Well, that's our top 5 controversial transfers. Should Mo Johnston's highly contentious status as the first Catholic to sign for Rangers have made the cut? How about former Liverpool star Michael Owen's decision to play for Man United? And that time Paul Ince posed in a United shirt long before his move away from West Ham was finalised. Come hit me up in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching. Love to you mothers. See you next time.